Because to me it became very apparent that to change all that, to go really through that transmutation, transfiguration process of all the atoms of which we consist, breathing in their sphere to which we are confined, we need an external force. There's no other way. We need some help from outside to really bring some new energy, some streams of energy in, of consciousness, if you wish, to really fulfill the process within us, because we cannot do that unto ourselves. And I'm sorry, something really struck me what you said in your reply to Andrew, that it is not something that we attract by the power of our will, but by purifying ourselves, by letting that external force that we refer to maybe as the Christ force, or the forces that are attracted by the rose of the heart, to fulfill the process within us. But first we have to accept that it's an external force that has to do the job for us. In our confinement to ourselves, to our old soul, to who we are, we simply cannot do that. We need that external something. And we're happy to have an anchor within us to which that external force can attach and link ourselves with us.
Because the tendency to taking literally what you said there, Tanya, is more like that turns it to an external power, such as what normal religions would say. Yes, you do need that external source. But what you're, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, what you're then saying is that we need to link out, it's what the power field of the school is, when we are all working in harmony together or working towards the same goal, our small microcosmic force that's within us links together to create a stronger force. It's not an external from us, so to speak, except it's obviously the source is different because it's from the divine realm.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But it's not putting the power back to an external source.
It's outside of ourselves, as I understood it, and in our exchange now, the last three points which were made. It's external to our ego. It's external to our personality. It's external to the higher self. The monadic element is not there for the time being, okay? But it is said, you are the temple of God. So the temple of God is in us. And that is why the Rosy Cross speaks of the inner God. And it is to link ourselves to that force, that eternal force, that is not part of us. It is not us, but it is in us. Now, so what role does a spiritual school have? The role of a spiritual school as a school of initiation with its different aspects does not have the role of a religion. It does not have the role of saying, come to us and you will be saved. If you are a good Rosicrucian, at death, you will be met by the Lord and you'll be singing hallelujah for ages to come. And of course, if you add a little bit of money and we'll give you a bit of dispensation for all the ills and all the sins that you are committing, then you'll be saved to eternity. That is not the way in which the Golden Rosy Cross operates from the point of view of the founders and its legacy, the Gnostic transfiguristic legacy. It is to create a community, to create a power field, a force field, which is necessarily going to be stronger than each one of us individually. But yesterday, a friend from Brazil, who lives thousands of kilometers away from any temple, will never be able to go to an outside temple. We understood each other fully because he's linked. He's linked by his inner being. And then it is to explore continually, is that inner being a sham light or is it the true light? So when we have the privilege of being part of an active community and living in a city or living somewhere where a group of like-minded persons can come together as members, as pupils, and so on, yes, we create a power field. And because we have temples, those temples are only used for their purpose, which is soul development. It's not, so they are, and of course they have to be cleansed and cleaned continually, but they are focal points for that incoming light force and energy. And so where we are weak, where we are like on crutches, the light force is saying, come and bathe yourself in the fountain of Siloé. And then the crutches will fall away. And then you will be able to speak the voice of that energy and of that force. So the school has its explanations. We spent quite a bit of time on that today about the explanation part. But then, as Jose also said, we can now move into a new state of consciousness where we can be co-builders, where we build both the inner temple and also the outer temple. But I was reading the book of Mirdad a few days ago, and it says in the first chapters there that if you cannot find if you cannot find the temple in your heart, you'll never find your heart in the temple. And I remember once